Today I thought we'd paint a pine cone. I'm going to use this space right here. And let's go over materials real quick in case you haven't been doing other tutorials with me lately. I have water, I have my paints, I have 3 sizes of brushes, 10, 6, and 2, although today I'll probably only be using the 6 and the 2. I have a sponge, I have a palette that's mostly clean, I have a pencil, just in case. These are the things that I always have. And then my paper is this Canson XL. It's 140 pounds, which is kind of an beginner's weight for watercolor paper. It's affordable, so that's why I like it. And this is a 9 by 12 sketchbook, so I've kind of divided it into smaller sections. These are some of the paintings that we did earlier in the week, and now we're moving on, day 6. I thought we'd paint a pine cone today, so it's mostly just browns. I'm gonna mix up 3 colors here. Gotta re-wet my paints. We're gonna need brown, we're gonna need a little bit of black, and we're gonna need yellow, which I am constantly running low on. Okay, so first is a light brown. I'll make that here with some brown from the palette. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of yellow in with that. I guess it's equal parts brown and yellow. Let's mix that. Okay, and then a darker brown with a little bit of black. And now a really dark shade, which will be mostly black. I'm gonna put black in. And since I'm working pretty small here, I don't need to mix up too much of these colors, although I'll probably use them again. I've saved my palettes from the last couple of days because I know I'm gonna use all these colors pretty much every day. So I'm not washing them out because I don't want to wash them down the drain if I'm probably going to use them again. Okay, I'm just going to freehand the pine cone. I think it's easier than drawing it first. My brush is clean and pretty dry, so I'm just going to dip the tip in the water because I want this first layer to be a pretty light brown. Even though we've mixed a light brown, I'm going to make it thinner and lighter by adding water each time. So I'm just going to do one cone here, pretty big in the middle. And the way I start is with kind of a teardrop shape at the top. You can do that 2 different ways. Let's see, I'll show you one way on this scrap paper. One way is to start at the top real lightly with your brush and then push down and lift up. And then you can go back and kind of fill in the shape a little bit to make it kind of like a water droplet. The other way, which I like but is harder for me, is to start by pointing your brush up, push down hard with it, and then lift up. I need to make that a little pointier, it looks like. So either way works. Give it a try. I'm gonna try it the hard way just because I might as well practice it. So paint on my brush, push down, lift up, and now I'm gonna make it a little wider at the bottom. And now from here, we do that same motion. We're gonna leave a little bit of a gap between these little sections. And I'm gonna do it one on each side here. Push down, lift up. I'm gonna do a little one in the back here too. And then one in the middle, it's kind of a scoop shape, and then we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna add these shapes all the way around to fill in, to make a cone shape. And I'm leaving that white space. Some of that will get filled in with the darker browns that we're gonna add, but some of them will stay white just to help define the shapes. So as we go down farther here, there's more cone pieces as we go across. Started out with 1, and then 2 or 3, and then 4, and the shapes are getting bigger, but also we need more of them to make it all the way across. So I'm just kind of playing with the brush by pushing down and lifting up and seeing what shape it makes, and also directing my brush where I want it to go. Okay, I'm almost to the bottom, so that means it's time to kind of taper it back down a little bit. So this is as wide as this cone's gonna be, and now I'm imagining the shape it is when it attaches to the tree. And that would happen right down here. I'm not adding the tree to this, but I'm just making it a little narrower down here. Okay. It's a little lopsided. I think I'll put one more little bit there. Okay, I'm gonna use my small brush now, and while I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm gonna make a few of these just a little bit pointier. It's easier to do it with a small brush for me. They don't have to be like sharp pointy, but some pine cones really are. Some really kind of hurt to pick them up. So I'm just gonna make these shapes a little pointier. And then I also can use this brush, and I'm gonna lift some paint back off. Partly because I'm impatient and I wanna keep going, and partly because I wanna add darker tones there. I don't want it to only be this color, and if I have to wait a really long time for this to dry, I'll lose interest. So I'm just lifting it off with my brush and wiping it on the sponge. And now I don't have big puddles. It's still wet, but that's good because I do want it to blend a little bit. Okay, medium color brown with a small brush. And I'm gonna put this at the bottom of each piece of this cone. So just gonna touch it. And I'm gonna work my way down, and then I'll come back to the top and take a look at what happened, how far it spread, if I need to add more, if I need to take some off. We'll see. Okay, and now I'm gonna clean my brush and mostly dry it. Now I'm gonna kind of squiggle around in between these shapes just a little bit. I want that white space to stay, but I don't want such a big gap. I made it a really big gap in the beginning so that the colors, so all these pieces wouldn't just bleed together. But now I can start to fill it in just a little bit. Okay, all my squiggling took some of the dark color away from some of these, or blended it too much. So I'm putting a little bit back in. Okay, and now this color, I guess it's mostly black, brown with quite a lot of black in it. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna put it right down at the very bottom, trying to limit this so it's not too much and it's not overpowering, but putting it kind of in the core of this cone where I imagine these, all these different pieces are attaching to the cone, to the middle of the cone itself, because that's where the shadow will be and that's where it will be darkest. And my goal here is not, like, I think I say this a lot, mostly because I need to remind myself what my goal is sometimes. I'm not aiming to paint something that would hang in a museum or that would go in a book to teach people about what pine cones look like. This is for fun. It's to learn about how colors work together. It's for practice. It's to give my brain a break from all the other things I need to think about all day long, and it's just for me. So that helps take some pressure off for me, because I don't want to be a perfectionist about painting. It wouldn't work out well for me. Okay, now I'm gonna get just, I feel like adding just a little bit of yellow. I'm gonna see what happens. This could be a terrible idea. But I'm gonna put it out at the ends, out closer to the tips of these. Okay, time to stop.